Hello once again, welcome to the Security Update, which we often look at issues concerning security in the continent from west to east, and these are the stories making the headlines. Somaliland retreats its armed forces from frontlines in Lasano to their designated places. U.S. criticizes continued clashes in Lasano, calling on war sides to ensure impartial and independent investigations into the matter. UN set to deliberate over alleged war crimes in Ethiopia's Tigray region. Plus, UN committee investigates weapons smuggling and charcoal trade in Somalia. Welcome to the program. Somaliland has officially retreated army forces from frontlines in Lasano to their designated military bases and reiterated its commitment to ceasefire, the Foreign Affairs Ministry confirmed on Sunday. In a press conference, the Minister of Foreign Affairs for Somaliland, Hamse, has formally confirmed to the public and the international community that the government has eventually retreated its army forces from the front lines in Lasano city, where they stationed for the past weeks, to their designated military bases. According to the minister, the government made this decision while taking into consideration the voices of the citizens and the international partners in order to achieve a ceasefire and minimize civilian impact.
Earlier this morning, the National Army of the Republic of Somaliland retreated from the front lines to the designated military bases.
Threatening to what he described external factors, the minister noted the Somaliland National Army has the capacity to take all the necessary steps to ensure the safety and integrity of Somaliland's sovereignty. The United States of America has condemned the continued clashes between Somaliland security forces and local militia, which entered the third week and resulted in more deaths and injuries, as well as thousands of people to flee from their homes. The United States of America has condemned the continued clashes between Somaliland security forces and local militia, which entered the third week and resulted in more deaths and injuries, as well as thousands of people to flee from their homes. The Bureau of African Affairs called on both sides to end the violence, and those responsible must be held accountable. The statement came a day after a U.S. diplomat visited Somaliland and held talks with President Pihi over Lasano situation and other issues. The U.S. called for an immediate ceasefire and unhindered humanitarian access in the region, which has seen intense fighting between local militias and Somaliland forces. On Wednesday, the UN reaffirmed the call for humanitarian access to address the needs of the affected population and urged the parts to immediately cease hostilities and resolve their disputes through dialogue to prevent any further suffering. Somaliland authorities and traditional leaders have separately welcomed the ceasefire despite the fighting continuing. Each side accused the other side for breaking the ceasefire, as there are no independent sources to verify their claims. Somaliland lawmaker Ahmed Khalif has demanded from the House of Representatives acting speaker to immediately summon the Minister of Interior Mohammed Kahin to provide further details about the current security tension in the country. Somaliland lawmaker Ahmed Khalif has demanded from the House of Representatives acting speaker to immediately summon the Minister of Interior Mohammed Kahin to provide further details about the current security tension in the country. MB Ahmed Khalif, who was elected from the Zone region, where there has been intense fighting between Somaliland security forces and local militias since February 6, wants Minister Kahin to appear before the House to take questions from the House members regarding security affairs. The lawmaker revealed that the minister had several times declined to respond to a call from the Internal Affairs, Security and Defense Subcommittee for a meeting, so the top officials of the House should now call him. a call that was welcomed by the acting Speaker of the House. Over 100 people were killed and many more were injured as thousands of people fled from Laascaanote city in the eastern part of Somaliland. Sinister ongoing clashes started early in this month. Somaliland government declared that Somalia's Puntland state has attacked on its territory in collaboration with the local fighters, claiming to have captured armored vehicles and war prisoners from Puntland.
The Somaliland National Army in a press release statement claimed that they have captured prisoners and combat vehicles from an attack on the National Army of Somaliland's base in the front line of Sool region on Monday morning. Somaliland stated that Somalia's Puntland state, together with what Somaliland called as anti-peace and terrorist groups, have attacked Somaliland military bases in Laascaanote city and left the Puntland forces with heavy losses. Also, the Somaliland government informs the international community and neighboring countries that the forces from Somalia's Puntland region are helping terrorist groups who want to spread extremist ideology in the Horn of Africa, which the accused sides have not yet commented on. The press release reads that Somaliland is committed to adhere to the ceasefire and defend itself against the attacks. The government also stated that the responsibility for this attack falls on Puntland state and strongly condemned this act of aggression and showed determination to stand up for the sovereignty of Somaliland and to defend its territory and protect its people. The attack came barely a day after Somaliland announced it had retreated army forces from Laascaanote vicinity to their designated military bases in order to achieve successful ceasefire and minimize civilian impact.
In Ethiopia, the United Nations Human Rights Council opens a 5-week session in Geneva on Monday, focusing on human rights violations worldwide and raising international pressure on the country's government to end a conflict that has caused a humanitarian crisis. But we will be back after the short break.
Making documentaries is one of the most creative craft and challenging endeavors you can be involved in. It is an effective strategy to inform, persuade, educate, defend the perspective, and shed light on various issues, policies, and activities. At CBA TV, documentary production is our forte. We capture every TikTok detail of events in highest resolution to tell the story you care about, from politics to human hunger, research-based content, educative and informative. We also help you project your story in a dynamic perspective that attracts the world views of the target audience, as there is no better or more powerful way to place the organization's values and achievements than to make an excellent documentary film. No doubt, our strength lies in these ventures, and we pride in many award-winning documentaries which have been earning accolades across Africa and beyond. Let's tell your story.
Welcome back again. And now to Ethiopia. The United Nations Human Rights Council opens a 5-week session in Geneva on Monday, focusing on human rights violations worldwide and raising international pressure on the country's government to end a conflict that has caused a humanitarian crisis.
Today marks the start of a 5-week session of the United Nations Human Rights Council in Geneva. The Council is dedicated to promoting human rights worldwide and is expected to focus on alleged human rights violations in Russia, Ukraine, Ethiopia, Afghanistan, Iran, Myanmar, South Sudan, North Korea, and Belarus. This session will be opened by the UN Secretary-General Antonio Guterres, and the agenda will cover a wide range of topics related to human rights, including the suppression of women in certain countries and war crimes. Unfortunately, China's alleged abuses against its Muslim Uyghur community will not be discussed, despite calls from human rights groups to do so. The session is a reminder of UN's commitment to advocating for human rights and the importance of holding governments accountable for their actions. It is hoped that the Council will be able to bring positive change to countries where human rights violations are prevalent.
The police of Banaadir region of Somalia claimed to have apprehended 3 suspected Al-Shabaab members in Dainila district while driving a tuk-tuk with weapons allegedly to harm civilians and government officials. Security forces in Mogadishu's Dainila district have apprehended 3 Al-Shabaab members who were carrying rocket-propelled grenade launchers and traveling in tuk-tuk. The police claiming the suspects were aiming to pose a threat against civilians. In a statement, the security officials said they have apprehended the 3 suspects during a security operation conducted in the district, just 2 days after the police also seized weapons belonging to Al-Shabaab in Hodhan district. Somalia security forces repeatedly made promises to intensify security operations in the capital to thwart future attacks orchestrated by Al-Shabaab. Several times the government said that Al-Shabaab intended to retaliate over the heavy losses in the ongoing anti-Al-Shabaab war in southern and central Somalia. The Ministry of Internal Security in Galmudug has announced that Somalia National Army and Galmudug Regional Forces conducted a joint operation in the Mudug region near the Far Aden area, resulting in the killing of 30 suspected Al-Shabaab fighters. The Ministry of Internal Security in Galmudug has announced that the Somalia National Army and Galmudug Regional Forces conducted a joint operation in the Mudug region near the Far Aden area, resulting in the killing of 30 suspected Al-Shabaab fighters. The operation took several hours and targeted Al-Shabaab members who had taken cover in trenches. The conflict extended to the Wadarik area, which Al-Shabaab used as a large base. Military planners in Mogadishu have recently increased their operations in the Mudug and Galgudud districts of the state. The Galmudug state government expressed its gratitude to the international community for its assistance in the fight against terrorism. Last week, the Somalia government, with the help of international partners and local clan militias, announced that its soldiers had killed almost 350 Al-Shabaab fighters and injured many more in various operations in the country's south and central regions. According to Somalia's Deputy Information Minister, in addition, more than 70 militants were killed during a 3-day clash between Al-Shabaab and government soldiers in the Mudug region's Badwin area. Illegal arms smuggling between Somalia and Yemen are investigations into the finances of Al-Shabaab were the focus of 2 recent meetings held by the United Nations Security Council. Illegal arms smuggling between Somalia and Yemen and investigations into the finances of Al-Shabaab were the focus of 2 recent meetings held by the United Nations Security Council. The Council's Sanctions Committee on Somalia, led by Kimihiro of Japan, also addressed the recommendations contained in the panel's final report for 2022, sent letters to various member states and received correspondence from Somalia regarding charcoal. During his briefing to the Council, Kimihiro revealed that the Security Council had issued the partial lifted arms embargo through Resolution 2662 in 2022 to support Somalia's development of its security institutions. The resolution included recommendations to reduce existing Somalia charcoal stockpiles and renewed the mandate of the panel of experts on Somalia. Furthermore, the resolution changed the committee's name to highlight its focus on Al-Shabaab. According to a report by the Institute for Security Studies, arms smuggling to Somalia is facilitated by a network of local and international actors with weapons worth millions of dollars, often smuggled via sea routes. And with that story of the illegal arms smuggling between Somalia and Yemen and investigations into the finances of Al-Shabaab were the focus of 2 recent meetings held by the United Nations Security Council, we'll wrap up our program for this time. Thank you very much for being with us.